Hello, my name is Steve Ganster, Managing Director of Technomic Asia, a market-based strategy consultancy based in Shanghai. I teamed with Karen Fierst of Karen Orr Consultants to author this new report on China's collision repair market in cooperation with Chris Mann and David Young from IBIS, the International Body Shop Industry Symposium. Thank you for joining me to review some highlights of this important market study, which was just released this February by Plenum Limited. You can find out more about this landmark program by going to www.ibisworldwide.com/reports. As you can see on the graph, China's light vehicle passenger market has been on quite a ride, showing dramatic growth in the last decade. This growth is now slowing appreciably and is expected to be less than double-digit over the coming 5 years. I would caution, however, that many pundits have continually underestimated growth in China's auto market, and with some 150 million middle-income urban consumers coming on stream over the next 10 years, the latent opportunity for auto purchases will remain very significant. The key now for aftermarket players is to look more closely within this growth to see who the winners and losers will be by both automaker and vehicle type. In 2011, for instance, we have witnessed a lot of disparity in sales success from those maintaining a high growth like BMW, Mercedes, and Shanghai General Motors versus some who have not fared so well, including a number of lower quality local Chinese automakers like BYD. As these new vehicle sales input into the aftermarket, the mix by automaker and vehicle type will have a huge impact on the scope and nature of opportunities for aftermarket parts and service suppliers. Here we highlight the size and growth of the light passenger vehicle park, which will outpace new vehicle sales, but also witness some slowdown from the rapid expansion over the last 5 to 10 years. We see annual growth of about 18% from 63 million vehicles in 2010 to over 145 million by 2015. Today, there are an estimated 375 sedan models on the road. About 100 of these models are no longer being sold. Clearly, fragmentation and lack of scale will remain a challenge for aftermarket players in the coming years. From a geographic perspective, the park is still concentrated along the eastern seaboard, from Beijing in the north, down through Shanghai in the center to Guangdong province in the south. However, over the next decade, the park will continue to disperse to central China into the rapidly growing Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. This change will necessitate that suppliers to the aftermarket have the reach to serve these emerging areas. When considering the collision repair market, the first point to note is the road and traffic infrastructure in China. Chaos is common, as are accidents. China's highway system ranks second in the world to the U.S. in terms of kilometers, but high-grade highways, that is, those above Class 2, account for less than 15% of the total road network. China has been and is investing heavily in infrastructure, but is still challenged by the rapid expansion of the vehicle park, not to mention so many first-time drivers. While the frequency of accidents is very high in China, the type of accident is definitely skewed to fender benders, comprising about 85% of all repairs. You will also note that the value of repairs is relatively low by international standards. Based on a complex formula of the number and type of accidents, repair value, and vehicle composition of the park, we estimate the collision repair for light passenger vehicles to total about renminbi 71 billion, or US dollars 11 billion. This equates to about $350 in repair value per vehicle in an accident across all vehicle and accident types. Mid-sized and higher-end sedans comprise the bulk of the collision repair market. One of the greatest challenges facing aftermarket participants is distribution, which, despite high market growth, or perhaps because of it, remains a mess and highly fragmented. There are over 360,000 registered service centers and over 150,000 retailers or other vendors. Collision repair is done to some degree at many of these service locations. Lately, There has been a flurry of growth at the small quick lube and fix shops, including the development of some larger light collision repair centers, such as Little Finger, which has over 500 outlets in China. With China's multi-layered distribution structure, an auto part can go through 5 touches before getting to the customer. Part cities, which number over 800, are still the backbone of the distribution system, but cannot efficiently serve the growing needs in the marketplace. We anticipate some important changes over the next 5 years in this distribution structure, which will have strategic impact at all levels of the market. In general, collision repair facilities and equipment are not sophisticated in China. The pictures below reflect a VW 4S dealer body shop. The following pages provide additional examples of some of the outlets and distribution points in China, which will give you a flavor of what the market looks like. As we look ahead, the China light passenger vehicle market for collision repair is expected to reach over RMB 173 billion by 2015, averaging 19% per year growth from 2010. In US dollar terms, this equates to about 27 billion, which is comparable to today's US collision repair market, estimated at about 31 billion. Versus China's strong growth, the U.S. market is projected to be flat or even trending slightly down as a result of the increased presence of passive safety devices and stricter licensing laws. On the last slide, we highlight a bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly about China's collision repair market. There is no doubt it will continue to expand and will become a critical global market, a market that cannot be ignored by aftermarket participants at the parts, equipment, sales, and service levels. Challenges will remain very tough due to fragmentation, a high level of competition, and a very chaotic infrastructure. Most collision repair shops are poorly equipped and have undertrained technicians incapable of repairing today's more sophisticated cars. The majority of collision repair shops do not have computers or staff trained in the use of computers. Management, technology, and training is not readily available. In the future, there could be a market for strong, well-equipped, trained, and branded independent collision repair groups. Having the right business model to suit your company's strengths, limitations, and appetite for risk is a critical success factor in China. While China's market offers significant potential, it is not for the faint of heart. As we like to say, in China, everything is possible, but nothing is easy. I hope these few headlines on the China collision repair market have piqued your interest. The complete report comprises almost 200 pages of detail on China's aftermarket, with specific emphasis on collision repair. This report will provide a sound foundation on which you can begin to understand your China business potential. Again, you can get more information on our China collision repair market study at www.ibisworldwide.com/reports. Thank you for your time and attention.